What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast, Drinks After Work with Shelly Nicole. How's everybody doing? How was everybody's day? Hope everybody had a great day. It was hot today. Like, I know it said it was supposed to be, well, they said it was 80 degrees today, but it felt like 85. But nonetheless, it was warm today. What did I do? I ran today. I went for a run. I have been going to the gym, but not as much as I normally do because I injured my wrist. Not to the point where I can't do anything, but if I move it a certain way, it like stings. So I think like I pulled something in my wrist or whatever. And I really haven't given it enough time to heal because I would constantly keep going to the gym. So I'm like, you know what, Michelle, stop doing things like that. Let's take like a good week and a half, 2 weeks of not lifting. It's killing me that I can't lift. And let's just do cardio. So if I've been going to when I was going to the gym, I was doing mostly cardio. But today I went running outside. It was a nice day. Why not? The park by my house is like really big, so why not? I did laundry as well. Finally. And what else? Oh, I chilled out. I really enjoyed the day, honestly, because this is going to be a very long work week. The next week, this week and then into next week is going to be very long. So I enjoy my days of rest because when I'm up and I'm on my feet and it's tiring. Like after work, I'm just like, I really need to just kick my feet up and just not move for like maybe an hour because my feet are they're tired. But either way, I just enjoyed my day today. It was just really nice. I hope you guys had a good day. Hope you guys didn't do too much work. But then again, I know Mondays for you regular 9 to 5 people. I'm sorry. I know Mondays are probably terrible because of all the weekend calls and what you left in the office on Friday. That's just like, yeah, I'll do it on Monday because I don't feel like it. But anyhow, I just hope you guys had a great Monday. So this episode was kind of something that me and my god sister were actually having a conversation about a few weeks ago. And actually, it wasn't a few weeks ago. I think it was actually this week we actually had that conversation about men going ghost and why do they go ghost, and also having options or thinking that you have so many options when you really don't. And a lot of the times I feel like people do this whole ghosting thing or disappearing act because they're scared, or they feel like they can probably find more elsewhere. They may possibly feel like they don't want to settle down for what they think. I mean, I guess that's the same thing. They don't want to settle down for what they think what this person who they're talking to can give them, instead of finding someone who has everything that person has, but more. But just like I said, thinking that they have more when it comes to the options, or they can find more when it comes to having options. And also probably feeling like they're not ready. They're not ready for what it is you're ready for. They're not ready for the commitment. They're not ready for the long-term relationship. They think that they're going to miss out on something, whatever the situation may be, right? So me and her were having this conversation, and it's crazy how, and not just with her, but other females who I've had this conversation with have said the same thing, that today in this whole dating scene, the men disappearing and feeling like they just have so many options and feeling like they don't ever want to settle down, or just disappearing on the person who they're talking to, they feel like they're doing something, and they feel like it's more of like they're being more emotionalist as time is going on, and as we're getting older, it's like the men are just not really trying to come to terms with what they want, or being honest with it, with what they want, and doing a lot of gaslighting and making it seem like they want something more than what they're really saying that they're really ready for, if that makes sense. So the topic for this conversation is going ghost and keeping your options. And I feel like while the both of them can definitely be two different topics, I feel like they kind of go together in the same sense, depending on the person and depending on if this is actually happening to you. So I'm going to be very open and candid about this topic. And I feel like as the episodes go on, I get more and more of a I don't give a, and I just say how I really and truly honestly feel. But this is also a safe, I don't want it to make it seem like this is not a safe place, because it is, but I also want it to be very realistic, because it has happened to me a few times where men have gone ghost and have said to me, like, I've heard the phrase, I've heard every freaking phrase you could think about. I've heard phrases like, I thought you would be over me. My god sister, funny enough, said the same thing, that a man had told her that one time too, which is absurd, but I've heard that. It's not you, it's me. I've heard so many people say that. So many guys have said that to me, and I've heard so many people say that they've had that being said to them as well. Guys too. Guys have said, females have said that. It's not you, it's me. And in some senses, in some situations, it can seriously just be them, and it really does not have to be you. They probably don't have their shit in order. But if that's the case, then why are you dating? That's the ultimate question. If you feel like you're not ready to date and what comes with dating, why are you dating? But we'll get into that very soon. I've heard a phrase of, I just thought you were doing too much. Again, we'll get into that one as well, because that one ticked me off when I tell you. I've heard, well, I'm not ready for a relationship and you are. Again, so what are we doing? What are we doing? And then I've also heard, I don't think I'm ready for what you're ready for. So for me, it's like, and there's probably a bunch of other phrases that men have used, that women have used, because it's not just, women who have said, or just men who have said this to women. It's also the other way around. But in this sense, we are talking about men who have constantly said this to women, and who have said these exact phrases and others after, it could be months, and it normally is months after talking or after dating, and they come to this realization. I don't know if a light bulb goes off. I don't know if God has sent down an angel. I don't know if there's an SOS sign. I don't know if it's written in the clouds. I don't know if it's in their zodiac. I don't know what the hell it is. But it's just something at some point clicks with them, and they feel like they're just not ready for what they just initially said they were ready for when you were dating. But now all of a sudden, 4 months later, you're not ready for it. Okay, sure. So to me, it's a simple conversation can cancel all of that. When you are able to talk about how you really feel, then you can be clear on what your intentions are and what you're looking for in a situation. Like I said, I've heard too many times guys saying that I wasn't ready for what you're ready for. Or, like I said, the whole thing of, I just thought you were doing too much. Like, it's so many things that, like I said, myself and other friends of mine have heard these men, and I'm talking about like in our, I guess in the age of us seriously dating, right? Like, let's not talk about teenage love. Let's not talk about, puppy love. Let's talk about serious dating moments. Like, I want to say probably, I don't even know. Well, see, I've always been like a very serious dater. I've never been like, if I was just messing around with you, I was just messing around with you. But if I wasn't, and if I was really just dating you, then I was dating you, and we were then eventually go into a relationship. But I feel like probably like in our mid-20s up until now, that's when you take things very serious and you're starting to, you want to build a life with somebody. I've heard it way too many times. And like I said, my friends have heard it just the same. And I don't understand, like, where was this thought when you first started dating me, when we first started talking, when I asked you, when you have to do the whole, I forgot the name I kind of gave it in the beginning, the whole, like, summary, I guess, or not the summary, like the first initial questions that you ask somebody. What's your favorite color? What do you like to eat? Da-da-da-da. That's a part of, like, the initial dating. So what are you looking for? That's the question that you ask. So what are you looking for? What do you want to do? And if you are okay with, I don't want to do nothing, right? I don't want to take anything serious right now. I'm just dating around and seeing what's going on. That gives that person the time and the opportunity to either walk away, to stick around to see if she would like to see where this goes, or to, honestly, I've heard people do it, try to persuade you into thinking something other than what it is you're actually telling them. I know it sounds weird, but yes, I've heard it before. So, and then I also just started to think that, okay, so if this is the case, right, and if we've been talking for this long, and after a while they start to have this feeling of, oh, I don't know, and starting to second guess and question and this and that. For me, this is just for me, my only two reasons are, like, one, so either they are really not ready for what I wanted, and realize that after being around me and seeing that, like, oh, I'm standing on business and this is exactly what I wanted, she's actually serious about her future and wanting a life and wanting marriage and X, Y, and Z. Or two, they just wanted to get in the drawers and get close to you. Those are my two ways of seeing it, because it's like, there's no way you can tell me that in the initial conversations that we've had this entire time, you haven't said to me, or you haven't thought about what it is that I'm saying and how I've been telling you, this is how serious I want to get married. I want to have kids. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to have a house. I want blah, blah, blah. All of these things that I'm telling you, and you're seeing, like, oh, nah, she's really serious. At what point did you then realize, like, okay, maybe I'm not what she needs me to be? Because after so if you guys haven't listened to the episode where I did the 3-month rule, and this really goes back to that too. So the whole 3-month rule is like everybody putting on, well, you guys should go listen to it, honestly, but just a synopsis of it. The 3-month rule was basically saying, after 3 months, everybody starts to show their ass. Everybody starts to show their true colors. You either get to see the person for who they really are and deciding if you want to be with this person or not, if you want to continue. Because the first 3 months, the honeymoon stage, everything is perfect. There's no issues. You're not arguing. They're not doing things that they normally would do. They're not ghosting you. You're constantly talking to them every day. And then it's after the 3 months that you start to see things that's like, okay, wait a minute. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Oh, this is something that you do. And then deciding whether or not you want to stick around. So I feel like this is the same thing when it comes to men after and this is probably true for men and why they do the things that they do. So, but men, I want you guys to comment, because I really, this isn't No, it is a dig. It's a slight dig. We're getting to like the flesh. We're not at the bone, but we're at the flesh. We're at the white meat part, right? But really wanting to know, why is it that you'll ask for or want a woman to have a XYZ ABC? She has to have her own car, her own place, her own money, a side hustle. She needs to keep up her appearance. And when I say appearance, it doesn't necessarily mean she has to be in the gym. You like them how you like them. You love them, I love it. So it doesn't, like, just appearance wise, as far as hair, nails, makeup, whatever your preferences, right? She needs to have ambition. She has to have goals. She has to, all of these things that you say that a woman is supposed to have, right? You meet a woman who has it, who has everything that you would want in a wife, that you would want in someone who you'd want to have children with. If you're thinking that deep, which I'm hoping at this big ass age of ours, we are thinking, why then, after you get this said woman, you now find yourself going ghost? You find yourself not wanting to talk to this person, or you no longer are interested, so you say, in this person. Or you come up with all these excuses. Now, again, if it is a thing of, well, it's not you, it's me, why are you even talking? Why are you even dating? I said this to one of my male friends. He knows who he is. I said this to him before, that I get that he wants to be in love, and I get that he wants to have someone to call his own. He's getting older. He wants to have more children. He wants to have a stability. He wants to have a life. He wants to have a household. And I said to him, is it possible that you're just not ready for yourself yet? Like, are you even able to take care of yourself? Not fully, but are you able to take care of yourself in a sense of like, okay, I can take care of myself now. Now I can also help with somebody else. Are you even at that point yet? And he said no. I said, so then why are you even dating? Oh, because Shell, like, I really, I want to find somebody. Like, I want to build. We ain't getting no younger. I said, absolutely, we're not getting no younger. But if you feel like you need to get on your feet more so than what you are right now, then maybe just dedicate 6 months of getting yourself in order, whatever that may be. That may not even necessarily be financially, because every time people say things like that, they automatically think financial. It's like, no, that may not even necessarily be the case, but it could mean mentally. It could mean having to go to therapy and getting over trauma that you've had from your past. Let's talk about it, because that's why a lot of us can't get into healthy relationships, because we haven't let go of the shit that has held on to us, that's holding on to us still in our dating world. We haven't even gotten into relationships yet, but we are just holding on to it while we're dating, and we're not really taking the necessary steps to let go of the things that have happened beforehand. But that, it could also be you just started a whole new career. You started a whole, you moved, you got a whole new home now. You bought a new car, or you now got your first car, whatever the case may honestly be. It doesn't always necessarily have to be financially spending, but I do know that some men take that into consideration. They need to have enough money, because they know that dating a woman is not, we're not cheap. But if you know that you're not at that point in your life yet, then maybe dating needs to take a seat back. It maybe just needs to sit in the back seat for a little bit, until you're ready to say, okay, cool, I'm ready to start dating again. Because if you find somebody who matches everything that you're asking for, the vibe is there, everything is going good, and then, like I said, we're emotional, so our hearts start to get into it. We start to think future. We start to think, okay, this is a possibility of things going in this direction. And then you dip on us, and then expect us to be like waiting around for you to come back. I don't understand that concept. I don't understand that idea. I don't get it. I really don't. Like, what in your right mind, Casper, do you think that I'm about to be sitting here still waiting for you after a week, 2 weeks, even a month of not talking to me and thinking that I'm about to sit here and say, hey, how's it going? Yeah, we can start this up again. You out your damn mind. Absolutely not. So I used to be really big into zodiacs. Like, oh, the sign says this and the sign says that. And then it's just like recently, like the last few years, I've just been like, yeah, I know I'm a Cancer, but okay, whatever. Like, I guess that's more so because I'm on my spiritual journey now instead of just listening to the outside world and all this extra stuff. But I do feel like we all have personality traits from the zodiac that we're born in. So me being a Cancer, yes, like I said, I'm emotional. I am. I'm sorry. My friends know this. My family knows this. I'm emotional. But I'm also the type of person who, while I am emotional, if I'm dating you, I'm giving you everything. And not everything meaning like a rib and an arm and a foot. But I'm giving my attention to you. Like, okay, cool. This is somebody who I'm interested in. They're interested in me. We're talking about future. We're getting in a relationship. Okay, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I'm very much so the lover and the homie. Like, we can be very romantic, very affectionate, and then the next time we could really be chilling, just hanging out on the couch, watching a movie, you're drinking a beer and I'm drinking a Mike's lemonade because I don't drink beer. But I'm really that type of person. That's just who I am. I'm very much so, I don't call my friends that much. I know, guys, I'm sorry. But I do text them a lot. I am a texter. I will text and I will hit you guys up to see how you're doing. How's life? How are you mentally? What's going on? Just checking in. Sometimes I do the voice note things because I like doing a voice note. I don't always call because it's like I don't like to talk as much although I got a podcast, right? Make it make sense. But I'm very much so a texter, but I still hit you up to see what's going on. How are you? What's going on with, in life? So I'm very much so, if you mess with my friends, you mess with my family, you mess with my man, we have a problem. But if I start to feel like I'm giving more than what I'm receiving, there's like this is like stages with me. There are stages. And when I get to the stage of I don't give a no more, there is no coming back from that. And when you give me the whole going ghost, and because to me that's like you don't give a no more, right? You just don't give a damn no more. If I start to feel like that's what you're giving me, now I'm going to give that to you 10 times harder, because I'm going to also act like I don't know you after this is all said and done. Obviously, as a woman, yes, we're going to cry. We're going to feel it in the beginning. We're going to be upset. We're going to be emotional. We're not going to really want to talk to people. But after a while, we let it go. And me, like I said, just being a Cancer, one of my other good friends, Erica, being a Cancer, we are exactly the same. We may feel it in the beginning, but then after, who are you? I don't know. I don't know who you are. Like, we really will walk past you, give you a head nod, or even like a little smirk, and go about our day as if we've never met you a day in our life. And as mean as that sounds, as harsh as that sounds, it's really because we cannot, like, and I say we, I mean mostly women, but I also say this as for, I guess just for women, because not even just Cancer women. I just know for women in general, when we get to that point of not caring anymore, we just don't care. And there's no way that you can honestly spin the block and think that you're going to have another chance after you decided to walk away from something that you were looking for. How is that? How do you walk away from what it is you initially said you wanted? Again, gentlemen, I need you guys to answer these questions. What are you thinking after you've met this woman, like I said, who's giving you everything, who's having the conversations, who's doing X, Y, and Z for you? why do you then feel the need to say, ooh, no, I don't know? Are you second guessing what you can bring to the table? If you're good enough for me, if you're good enough for the potential family that we're trying to have, it's just questions, right? So now that I've touched on the whole going ghost thing and possibly the reasons as to why people go ghost, right? The other part of why I think people do go ghost is because they feel like they have too many options. And I have said this to my friend recently because she was dating and, she would, and I think all females kind of do this for the most part. We will have it sounds terrible, but we'll have a roster of guys who we're talking to. And I guess guys have the same thing. They have a roster of women who they're talking to. And then when you find somebody who actually meets all the criterias of what you want, you then start to tick everybody else off. No, I'm good. I don't want you. No, it's okay. This was great, but, I'm interested in somebody else. I'm taking somebody else more seriously, whatever. So I guess it means to have the options is good. I don't want to sit here and make it seem like it's not a good thing to have options. It is. In the beginning, it's good to have options. So when I say in the beginning, I mean okay, let's say you just broke up, or you just got a divorce, whatever the case is, right? With your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You give yourself some time if you do that. And then you jump back into the game. You jump back into the piss pool of dating. When you do that, obviously, like I said, you're going to have options. You're going to have guy or girl A, B, C, and D. And you're going to figure out whether or not these people meet the criteria of what it is you're looking for. So in that sense, yes, you want to have options because you're trying to see who is going to fit in with what you're looking for. First thing is, I think you need to be honest with said people that you are not the only one, baby. You're not. I'm talking to other guys. I'm talking to other females. That way, there is no high expectations of that person thinking that they're the only one that has your attention right now. If you keep it honest, there's no need for anybody to be angry. If you're very real, if you claim to be this real person that you claim you are, and you don't hide, your feelings or how you go about your life. If this is who you really are, then that will be a part of it. You will tell this person or these people, listen, I'm dating you and 3 other people. And I just wanted to put that out there. That way there are no emotional attachments too fast. But I just need you to know what's going on. Like I said, it gives everybody an even playing field to do and make the decision as to what they want. Some people are okay with that. Some people are not okay with that. Personally, like I said, when you first start dating and you're just now getting back into the piss pool, I think you should have options. I had options. I definitely did. And as I went on dates with said options, I was just okay, no, I don't like that. Or they were just doing things that were just too. I had a guy. I don't know what he thought, if that was supposed to do something for me, or what he's used to. But I'm assuming he's used to just moving extremely fast. There's fast and then there's extremely fast. There's driving at 100 miles an hour and then there's driving at 180 miles an hour with nitro boost to get you from, I don't even know, is it called nitro boost? I don't even know. That thing that boost that in Fast and the Furious, that thing that just shoots you from point A to point B. That thing, right? He was on that type of timing. When I tell you we had conversations for maybe, I want to say 2 weeks or so, 2 weeks. I think it was like around April where we had conversations. April of last year. We had conversations for like 2 or 3 weeks. I'm getting dick pictures. I don't know about you, ladies, gentlemen. It ain't cute. Stop sending that. Don't nobody want that. So what am I going to do with that? What am I going to do with that? Guys like butt pictures. They like naked. They like all those type of pictures. But for us, what are we going to do with that? And that's just me, and that's a few other women that I know. There may be some women who like that, but I know personally from a lot of the friends that I have, for what? What am I doing with that? Okay, I don't need that. So he would just constantly send those pictures, and I had to tell him, like, listen, hey, I don't need those pictures. I'm good. Why are you even sending me those? He was like, oh, I just thought you wanted to know what was coming, coming for you. I said, what was coming for me? Doesn't that mean I have to accept that? He's like, so you're saying that you're not accepting it? I said, that's exactly what I'm saying. Because when did we even mind you, we never even had that type of conversation for him to even hint that, okay, I'm about to slap. Because we never even talked about it. So why is that even? Pack it up, sir. Put it away. So he bought me a perfume. I said my birthday was coming up. So he had bought me a perfume, a YSL perfume for my birthday. I said, oh, thank you. Appreciate it. We had like maybe 2 or 3 other conversations after that. And I don't remember what he said to me, but it just turned me off. And I was like, okay, I'm good. Then I eventually told him, like, listen, this is not going to work. Thank you for the birthday gift, but I'm just not interested. So, like I said, going back to what I was saying in the beginning, having options in the beginning is perfectly fine until you find somebody who you're serious about. So like I said, even when it comes to me, after I was dating that guy, I kicked him out. Boom. Another guy I was dating, boom, didn't like what he was doing, kicked him out. There was finally a guy who was just marking off all the boxes. Good conversation. We didn't even talk about sex. We didn't even talk about none of that for some time. Like, it was some time before we did. And then I was focused on just speaking to him. But the foundation was already laid of what we were looking for, what we wanted. We were on the same type of timing. He had everything going for him. All he wanted was now to find somebody to be his girlfriend, to officially have somebody to be his girlfriend, to be a fiance, to then be a wife, mother, children, all of that. Same thing. But now the problem lies where you are now you're with you're taking this person serious. And now you're feeling like, I guess you're starting to second guess yourself, right? You're not knowing whether or not you can keep up with what they're asking for. Are you even good enough? Will there ever be enough money? Will there ever be this? Am I going to be a good this person? Am I going to be a good that person? Am I going to all these questions that start to run through your mind, because we all technically tend to overthink certain situations. Some people overthink more than others, but we all tend to our minds just start to just go a lot of the times. But then it's like, okay, so you're talking to this one person and you're serious about them, or you've been talking to them for a very long time. To then find out that, like I said, going back to the ghosting, you're starting to get ghosted, or you're starting to realize that there is a pattern going on where, like, certain days or certain times you don't hear from them. Certain days it's like, okay, I'll hear from you in the morning, but then I don't hear from you all the way up until 10 o'clock at night. It's just certain things that you start to pick. And then you find out that this person who you were taking serious went back to having options after they supposedly picked off all their options, after they supposedly said you're the only one that they're taking serious and the only one that they're dating. This is the problem that me and my god sister were talking about, where men would, And again, I'm just talking from a female's perspective when it comes to looking at guys whom have done this to myself and to other women that I've. They go back to the options because, from what they've said, they are not sure if you are everything that they want. That they think that there's more out there. Or the line that I said before, that I was told one time, that I just thought you were doing too much. And when I asked that person, I asked that guy, what do you mean by I was doing too much? They just sat there on the phone like this, silence. And I'm like, hello, what were you saying what were you referring to when you said I was doing too much? He was like, well, I feel like, when you didn't get a phone call from me, you would be upset. Mind you, the phone call that I would not get, we were talking every day, not long periods of the time, because clearly you're working, I'm working. Let's be realistic. We cannot talk to each other throughout the entire freaking day. There are times where I'm very busy. There are times when you're very busy. But there's no reason why, right? The last time I think we had spoke was probably, I'm just saying like a random ass day, right? It was probably like a Friday morning we had spoke. The next time that we spoke, or that I heard from him, was Sunday afternoon. Now, mind you, I called, I text like, hey, what's going on? Like, hi, how are you? Nothing. According to him, I was doing too much. I said, so I was doing too much when I didn't hear from you? That's doing too much. Well, yeah, because when, don't say no more. Why you gotta take it like that? I'm not taking it anyway. If speaking to me, and I feel this way personally, but like again, I've heard other women say the same thing. If speaking to me throughout the day, a quick, and let's go back to the basis, right? Let's start at the blocks, please. Let's start at the blocks and shapes. If talking to me throughout the day is a problem to you, don't talk to me at all. Because again, I understand everybody is busy. I understand everybody has something going on. We all get it. A lot of the times men like to make it seem like we don't know that as men, you're working. Well, so are we. We're working as well. But there is nothing wrong with you sending a 10-second voice note, text message. You're on your phone anyway. There is nothing wrong with checking in. And that was a problem that he said too, that he didn't like. It feels like he has to check in. I said, so when we're dating and we're speaking to each other, you don't consider that a check-in when I'm asking you how your day was and what's going on and X, Y, and Z? He's like, yeah, it is a check-in. I said, so you just said it was a problem, right? He's like, well, no, I'm not saying it was a problem. Okay, pick one. Is it a problem or is it not a problem? When you're in a relationship, yes, you have to check in. Let's cut the shit. You have to check in with your girlfriend. You have to check in with your man. It's just a simple, what are you doing? How's it going? What's up? Again, if you're busy. Oh, babe, I'm just going to go to the store real quick. I'm just going to go to X, Y, and Z real quick. I'll be home by a certain time, or I'll hit you when I get done, or, I'm just going to the gym. Yes, you do have to check in. I'm confused as to where people then I don't understand how people say they want to be in a relationship, but they want to give certain things that can happen in a relationship, like certain things are, as far as like foundation wise, Like, are you living in a relationship, or are you living to be single but wanting to be in a relationship? Like, you want to do your single shit while you're in a relationship. It doesn't make sense. You can't have both. You cannot want to be in a relationship and then continue to do the things that you were doing as a single man or as a single woman. It doesn't work like that. For all of that, stay single. If you don't want to check in, if you don't want to hit nobody up, if you don't want to see how anybody's doing, stay to yourself. That is perfectly fine. No one's checking for you. But then when it becomes a thing of, so then I had asked them, going back to the whole options thing, I said, so are you speaking to other people? He said, no. I said, but it's giving very much so you're speaking to other people, because how is it that I spoke to you? And again, I'm hypothetically using this weekend thing. How is it that I spoke to you on Friday morning, but then I don't hear from you until Sunday afternoon? But you're not speaking to anybody. Well, if you don't believe me, got very defensive. Well, if you don't believe me, okay, cool. So, with that being said, it was nice meeting you. Why you gotta do all that? It was nice meeting you. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck. See, the thing is, I'm not going back and forth with anybody. I'm not going back and forth with someone who just simply cannot communicate. I'm not doing it. It's, like I said, we're too grown. We are at a certain point in our life where communication should not be difficult. You communicate with your friends when you're talking about going to play basketball, don't you? You communicate with your barber when you're asking him, hey, what time will you be at the shop? This time? All right, cool. I'm gonna come get get my hair cut. You communicate when you're at work, when you have a meeting or you have to go do X, Y, and Z for your job, whatever your job may be, right? So why can't you do the same thing with someone whom you're taking serious or who you're dating? I never understood why that doesn't correlate. Like, why doesn't that come together in your mind as a man? Why doesn't it add up? I heard some guy say it before. Oh, well, that's my lifestyle. So what is she? She's not going to be a part of your lifestyle? She's not going to be a part of your life? Well, I want her to be a part of my life. Okay, so that means you have to add her in there, don't you? I never understood it. I never really did. So then the same said guy tries to spin the block, tries to find his way back into my good graces, and says to me, I didn't really think it through, but I was just like, damn, I lost a good one. And I'm just on the phone. Like, if I could show you my face, the face that I make when someone is just like, when someone's pissing me off, but I'm just trying not to say nothing, and I do that squinting. If you're my friends, you know what I'm talking about. That face that I just give them, like, I sometimes I'll put my hand on my face or I'll cross my arms, and I'll just like give them like that squint, like I'm really trying to understand what it is that they're saying, but it isn't clicking. But I'm hearing them, but it's just not clicking because all I'm hearing is blah 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 blah. So I'm on the phone, and then this is the face that I'm making as if he's sitting right in front of me. I'm sorry for how the things that I've said and how I treated you during this whole time, because it was like you wasn't even asking for much. Like, you don't ever ask for nothing. Like, you really just be, like I said before, he said it himself, you really are just like the homie, but then you also just so romantic, and you're this, that, the whole thing, yada yada yada. And after he said it something, and again, I'm on the phone, I'm listening to him. He's like, hello? I said, yeah. He said, you don't have nothing to say? I was like, what am I going to say? I told you so. He was basically telling me that time when I said, do you have other options? He said, no, he didn't have other options. Come to find out, he did have other options. He was talking to other women after he told me that he wasn't talking to any other women, but he was. And he realized how they were, I don't know the words that he said, that they were needy or they were this, they were that, just all these other things that he was saying. And basically saying that he should have just worked harder and understood exactly what it is that I was saying. I said, you made it seem like I was asking for your social security number and your credit score. I'm like, no, I'm just trying to get a foundation going as to what it is we're doing. If we're dating each other seriously, then let's do that. But don't sit here and make it seem like you want something when you really don't. So I say all of this to say having options isn't always a good thing, because you can go ghost. You can make it seem like, you have all these other women that you're interested in, or all these other women that are interested in you, and thinking that they're going to offer you the same thing that this person who has obviously shown you time and time and time again that they're serious about you, that they really want you, that they like you. They're doing everything to cross off the boxes. But for whatever reason, you feel like there's more out there. Why? Don't know. But that will have to be a personal conversation you would have with yourself, a personal insight that you would have to have with yourself to understand as to why you feel the way that you feel. So I feel like this whole having options thing has really just hit the surface. I feel like it's always been around for years, but I feel like it hit the surface more so because of the social media era that we're in, and the fact that you can look up people's IGs or TikTok, whatever, and you can just see the person who they portray themselves to be on social media, and instantly you're attracted to them, or instantly you want to get to know who this person is. But then it's not until you actually have a conversation with them that you realize that, oh damn, this person ain't really everything that I thought I wanted, because you were just so attracted to the outside appearance and what they were only putting out for you to see on social media. Social media is the show. It just shows you everything that they want you to see. They're never going to show you the real them. And a lot of the times when you guys decide to have these conversations with a lot of these women, you start to see there's nothing behind. There's nothing back there. There's no substance. It's just pretty, but there's no substance. And I'm not saying that that's not the same thing for men, because men will do the same thing. You'll start to see that, oh, this guy is like, he's fine, he this and that on Instagram, but then can't even hold a conversation with you when you're in person. It's a lot of catfishing going on. So having options isn't always, like I said, a good thing. Sometimes you just want to stick with what is feeding you, what's pouring into you, what's giving you what it is you need at that exact moment, and stop trying to look for more. Because when you look for more, you're going to lose out on what you already have. Sometimes getting more isn't always best for you at all. Going ghost leaves a person in an awkward and untrustworthy position. So from someone who has been ghosted before, let me just let you guys know this right now. If you're not sure about whether or not you want to be in a serious relationship, or if you want the same thing that the person who you're talking to wants, do them a favor and be honest and say that. If you're starting to have cold feet, if you're starting to feel like you can't live up to what it is they're asking of you, give them enough respect. Instead of just going ghost, give them enough respect to say, you know what? I don't think that I can be the person who you need me to be right now. I still want us to be friends. I still want us to talk. If they're okay with that. They may not be okay with it. They may just say, no, forget it, I don't want to talk to you at all. But have the conversation with them about it. And you can even, and in that conversation, you could probably find out that you're overthinking and you're doing way too much overanalyzing that you don't need to even be doing. Because that has happened too, where it's like I had to have the conversation and tell him, like, bro, you do realize there's no such thing as perfect. You do realize that there's going to be ups and downs. You do realize that everything is not going to always be rainbows and sunshine. It's not. And that whole concept and thought of needing to be perfect doesn't exist. That's my third point. Let go of this whole idea of perfection. Perfect doesn't exist. It doesn't. Again, social media will make it seem like it does, but it doesn't. Social media is only going to show you, people are only going to show you what they want on their IG. When you post a picture or you post something on IG, do you or do you not say whether or not, before you post it, if you want to post it? Don't you make that decision? Like, I like this picture. I like how this looks. That's cute. I don't like how I look in this picture. I don't like how I pose, or I don't like that, my bag's not showing or my sneakers aren't showing. You want to show something. You're posting to show off something. Stop making it seem like your life is supposed to be perfect when it's not. We are all so wrapped up and caught into what these celebrities are doing, what these people that are not in our tax bracket is doing. It's not perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. There's no one on this earth that's perfect. They can have the nicest body. They can have the nicest car. They can have the most amount of money. They can have everything. I guarantee you there's something wrong about them that you do not like. And a lot of the times you're going to say, you know what? I'd rather have had the person whom I was talking to before than having to deal with this type of shit. Because this isn't what I signed up for. I'd rather deal with that than deal with this. And a lot of times it's going to be too late because that person already moved on to somebody else who accepted them for who they were, despite the minor things, not the major things, the minor things that you probably was an issue to you. Stop looking for perfection. It doesn't exist. When you're going ghost, also understand that the trust is you're starting to break the person's trust and they're starting to become uninterested. You cannot assume that you're going to go a week, not even a week, a few days without talking to somebody and then think that the person is still going to have the same feelings toward you. They're now starting to get annoyed with you. They're starting to get irritated with you. And now, or eventually, they're going to start to get uninterested. They're not going to be interested in you anymore. Because they're going to see that this is a part of you that nobody wants to deal with. Nobody wants to deal with somebody who goes ghost randomly. No one wants to deal with that because it's like they don't know at what point you're going to do it. It can be like a random ass Tuesday. The sun is shining and everything is great and you just disappear. As if something happened to you. God forbid nothing does happen to you. And then resurface on a Friday. Well, what happened? And then you give them all the excuses in the world. Oh, I was just doing this. I was busy. I was da-da-da-da-da. No one is ever that busy. Like I said before, a text message takes 10 seconds. A phone call can take 10 seconds. 20 seconds. Hey, just checking in to see how you're doing. I miss you. I'll talk to you later. Boom, bye. That's it. It's not that hard to communicate and to keep the person whom you're interested in and who you're serious about involved in the dating or involved in your life. It doesn't take that much work. It doesn't take that much effort. It's very easy. And I feel like a lot of the times too, society likes to make it seem like men are incompetent of doing that. But you guys are very, very competent of doing it. And you know when you're doing it. And you know why you're not doing it. But the trust will start to break if you keep doing this ghosting thing. If you keep going about your day and them not hitting nobody up and not letting them know like what's going on, and if you keep thinking that's going to work for you, keep doing that. And if you haven't realized by now, if this is something that you've constantly done in previous relationships or previous dating times like in your life, and you realize the women were saying the same shit, every woman is different. They're probably from different areas, different backgrounds, whatever. But you realize that they're all saying the same thing, then clearly you're the problem. Clearly you have an issue that you need to sit down with yourself, maybe with a therapist, and to find out why you're doing the said thing that you're doing. Because if you think someone is going to marry you, if you think someone's going to have children with you, if you think somebody's going to take you serious, and yet you keep doing this, one moment I'm here, peekaboo, I'm here, peekaboo, I'm not here, Casper and friend thing, appear and reappear when you want to, it's not going to work. And you're going to break trust before it's even developed. And lastly, speak your truth from the beginning. Speak your truth. Know exactly what it is you're looking for. If you're looking for a good time, say that. If you're not looking for anything serious, say that. If you're not sure what you're looking for, say that. You could say that. Like, you could honestly tell someone, like, when they ask you, so what are you looking for? Oh, I'm not really sure right now. I'm just, dating to see what it is I like, what it is I don't like. Because, and ladies, please understand, there are men who are like that. Because there are a lot of men, not a lot, but there are a good amount of men who were either in very long relationships, like straight out of high school, and they're single, or men who really didn't consider dating, were probably focused on their career or focused on other things, and now they're starting to date seriously. There's a lot of men who probably haven't even dated that many women to begin with, and they don't know what they like. And this is why I always say, and I said it in my book, I do have a book, I don't know if I mentioned that to y'all, the shit they didn't tell you about your 20s, where it was kind of like what I did in my 20s, but what I also realized now in my 30s, what happened and how I analyzed my whole entire 20s. And you could get it, it's on Amazon right now. I'll put the link in the description on all the streaming platforms, where I basically said I liked the fact that in my 20s I was able to date around. That yes, I was in 2 serious relationships in my 20s. Oh no, 3. No, I was in 3. Yeah, 3 serious relationships in my 20s. But even in those relationships, and then between those dating, I got to see exactly what I didn't want and what I wanted. And what I realized that in my last relationship in my 30s, what I realized, like, I'm no longer accepting. And a lot of men have not gotten into that. A lot of men, or a lot of women too, they've stuck with one person for a very long time, so they don't know what they like, they don't know what they are okay with, what they're not okay with, and they're trying to figure that out. So it's okay for them to say that, but that doesn't mean you have to write them off. You could just be cool with them, see where it goes, and if it doesn't go anywhere, cool. But again, you're in the beginning of it, so clearly you probably have other men who you're talking to, or other females who you're talking to. That's fine. But if you end up having a friendship with this person, that's also cool as well. Everything doesn't have to lead into something romantic. It can really just be a friendship that comes out of it, if they don't know what they want and they're not on the same boat as you, but the vibe is still good. If you are looking for something serious, be intentional with it. Tell them exactly what it is you need your woman to have, what it is you need your man to have, and be realistic. For the love of God, be realistic. Again, get out of this social media craze of what you see all these celebrities having, what their man is buying them. Their man is in a whole different tax bracket than the man that you're going to be dating or that you're going to be with. And I'm not saying that you can't date a celebrity. I'm not saying that you can't date a man who is wealthy. I'm not saying that. But you also have to put yourself out there to find those said men. I almost dropped the mic. You have You have to put yourself out there if those are the type of men who you do want to date. But for a lot of women whom I know, they're not searching for that. They want stability. And if you are in a space where that's what you're looking for, then be okay with that. But be intentional and be clear about what it is you're asking, what it is you need, and what it is you want. And if you cannot live up to it, it is okay for you to bow down and back out. Because not everybody can live up to the same expectations as everybody else. It doesn't happen like that. And it's okay. Again, it's all right. Be honest with yourself. So I hope this was a very informative yet eye-opening episode. Going ghost is not cute. It's not okay. It emotionally can damage a lot of people. And just be authentic and real with yourself. If you can't keep up with it, then just don't even go into it. If dating is just not on the spectrum right now for you, then leave it until you're ready to. But stop with this whole ghosting thing. Stop with this whole feeling like you just have all the options in the world, because you don't. You don't when you found your person. You don't when you have. And I don't want people to get confused, because I know I'm saying, like I said in the beginning, like, okay, cool, have your options in the beginning. Yes, because that's the initial part of dating. You're trying to see who works for you. But when I say you don't have all the options in the world, I mean as when you find somebody who fits everything and crosses off all the boxes of what you're looking for, stop thinking that you're going to have more out there. Because clearly you saw something in her or in him that said, yes, this is who I want to take serious. So stop thinking that you're going to find someone else who's going to cross off this imaginary box that doesn't even exist, and thinking that this person's going to have it. And then you're going to end up losing what you've invested your time into, what you've invested your money into, off of someone who has an invisible box that doesn't even exist. And then they probably have a bunch of other problems that's going on with them that you don't even know about. So be consistent with who it is you want. Be consistent in what you're looking for. And if you're not looking for anything, then say that, but be honest with yourself. I appreciate you guys for listening. I hope you guys have an amazing night. Whatever happened today, leave it in today. Don't go in tomorrow with the same drama. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. See ya.